So here we are with another Trade Legends podcast, and we have another two fantastic guests. We have Emma, Renovate with Emma, and you have come all the way from?
Aberdeen.
Not today, but she has travelled all the way down from Aberdeen. And we've also got Gio, who's been on the podcast, but not actually been on the podcast because he was Kimmy's chauffeur for the day when she came up, and then he was due to come on a couple of months ago, and now we've snared him finally to come onto the podcast. And what we like to do on the podcast, just in case you haven't ever watched one or you haven't ever seen how we do it, is just to get a bit of background story about you, left school, did you go into trades, what was it that you did, and how you've sort of come to end up sat here on the Trade Legends podcast. So I'm going to start, ladies first. Sorry, Gio.
That's fine.
Could have said ladies.
First time I've been superseded.
And just take us back then, Em. You've left school. Was it something that you've always been interested in? What did you do? Did you go to a trades college? What did you know, because everybody's got like a crazy story how they've sort of ended up here.
Well, when I first left school, I actually went to art college. So I've always been quite creative. But yeah, literally, I went to art college. I didn't last long, so I'm a dropout. I think I lasted 3 months, and I was like, this is not for me. No. So then I worked full time at Arnold Clark for a year. Tried to work out what I wanted to do, and I still didn't really know. But I thought I should go to university because
give me the best sales pitch.
Well, I wasn't a sales. They wanted me to go into sales actually, but I didn't do sales. But so I was like, I'll go and do law because law is a great degree to have, isn't it? You know, become a lawyer. Started doing that. It's a lot of reading, and it's a lot of reading. But I got myself through it. Still didn't know what I wanted to do, so I was like, oh, I'll do a master's in law. So weirdly, I'm sitting here. I've got 2 law degrees, which obviously I use all the time in my day job now. And then I knew at some point during that I was like, there's no way I can be a lawyer and work in that corporate. And that corporate job the whole time, but I still didn't know what I wanted to do. So I got a job in PR and communications and marketing. So worked my way up to head of communications for the company, quite a big company in Manchester. And then
you mentioned them before. Yeah, Warrington based, aren't they?
There's a big warehouse there, but Manchester Airport, kind of every other base now.
I always used to see that ginormous warehouse that just kept going on and on.
And I did love it. It was good. It was good in some ways, and I sort of thrived under the pressure. But a couple of years in, I started doing some projects like renovation projects of my own on the side. So it was like I was working full time, getting up, being in the office like 8 till 6. Going over, it was over in Stockport, the first project I did, working on that at night, coming home.
So were you doing projects for other people or just
my own? Our own, so me and my ex-partner. So I was doing that and loved it, and that's when I started my Instagram as well. And I thought that...
How do you just suddenly one day just think I'm going to...
It was actually him, so his uncle was a property investor. So otherwise I wouldn't have ever even thought about getting into property. Like when we started doing that, I had no clue what I was doing. Like maybe painted a few walls in a house, and that was it. So it was, and actually when we started the first project was 2020. So COVID happened. So all of a sudden it was like
everybody turned into a DIY superstar.
Everyone was doing it, because it was like, oh well.
Apart from me.
Like we just couldn't get anyone to come and help us, and the property was bought on a bridging loan. We got an extension, but you need to get it done quick, to turn it around, or you lose everything, kind of thing. So I was sort of thrown into it like that. And the first project, I didn't see it necessarily as, okay, this is what I definitely want to do. But the second one and the third one we did, I was like, I actually really like this. And that was when I started to get a bit creative and put different colours in. Like the first one was literally just like white walls, grey floor, nothing else. Yeah. And I started, taking the Instagram a bit more seriously and stuff. Eventually it was like, how can I actually find a way to make this my full-time job? That was when I ended up getting to Aberdeen because properties are really cheap there. And getting a model where...
I mean, how'd you decide on Aberdeen though? Because if you're in Manchester...
So I actually met my current boyfriend when I was
These men are having an impact on you, Emma. That's what I've deduced so far.
They are, but in a good way. I think it can have an impact in a good way and push you to, you know what I mean? It's not a bad thing. So he'd done some property stuff in Aberdeen before, but he was from Cheshire. So and it's dead weird because we're like, So
So it worked.
It worked, yeah. So he eventually he'd managed to like land some clients and stuff, and he was like, I can't do this remotely anymore. I'm going to have to move back to Aberdeen again. So like, will you come with me? And I was like, yes. I'd actually only known him for like 3 months at this point. But I was like,
Are you still together?
Yeah, we're still together now. Yeah.
So I was going to say.
Yeah.
Whoa. We're not together anymore. That's the question. You know when you ask and you think,
Yeah.
should
Awkward
have
question.
done it. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, we're still together. So so he does property sourcing, and I do the refurbs basically, and then we've started a lettings agency as well. So it's like full 360 for our clients, and then that's allowing us to fund our own projects as well. So it's like we've started a business, and a lot has happened in the past it's like year and a bit since we started doing it.
Yeah.
We're really busy.
So when you do the property sourcing, just give, because I sort of know the process for all of these, doing a little bit of property myself. And I know a lot of tradespeople that listen to this, that's their end game. If you always say to somebody, what would you like to do when they're a carpenter? I'd love to renovate my own
Because they
houses.
can.
They've got the skills and the contacts.
So the proproperty sourcing, just tell people what that entails.
So it's finding a property. So you basically pay a sourcer a finder's fee to find you a below market value property in a good area where rental demand is high, but also because the sourcer has been doing it for a long time and they should know what they're doing, and they've got all the contacts, they can either find properties sometimes off market, or they're just getting really good deals. Like they know the estate agents if they are on market. They're going to be able to negotiate a really good price for you, and then you buy it from them, essentially. You don't, but you buy the deal from them. You pay them a fee. Yeah. So that's how it works, and it works because a lot of people, they might they've got busy jobs, they just don't have time, or they don't have the knowledge, or it's just a little bit of like extra confidence, because if you're going through a sourcer, okay, they're an expert, they've done it hundreds of times in the past, so that like worry of, is this a good
due
property or not?
diligence and
exactly.
T's and C's.
Yeah.
Some people as well, if they're investors, they want to be hands off.
Exactly,
which is where I'll lead on now, is if you're doing the renovations as well, is you can property source for somebody, but then you can handle any of the upgrades, so that then somebody, if they wanted to refinance out of the property,
exactly,
they can refinance out.
So a lot of ours are that BRR strategy. So buy, refurbish, rent, refinance.
I never remember what all the hours are.
Yeah, I know, sometimes you're like, yeah.
So you can do almost like an all-in-one solution, and then this is what I quite liked about what you said, was you've sort of done that, but then realised, well, actually, we can now manage these properties for people. Yeah,
exactly. It's just one point of contact, and also I think the good thing about it, and it's peace of mind for the investors as well, we're also the letting agent, so we want to do the best job possible in the refurb, because we're not just doing a shoddy refurb and then going, okay, bye, see you later.
And you don't want any problems later.
You don't want problems. So like if you're doing a bathroom, okay, you want good quality plumbing in there, because you don't want the tenant to
having a leak.
There's a leak, So you've got that incentive to do a really good job, and then that saves the investor money down the line as well on repairs and stuff. So it's going well.
And the end game for yourself then is, I presume, like other tradespeople, is to have a stable of your own properties alongside managing these for other investors. Yeah,
exactly. So that's the goal, because it's I think what a myth that people say is like, owning a property portfolio, it's passive income. It's not fully passive income, and like you'll know as well, like there's actually a lot more to it.
I know how landlords get clobbered. Yeah,
exactly. So there is a lot more to it, but I think that's the goal. It's a really nice safety net to have in life, and we've got some clients that have got like 10 plus in their portfolio, all making a nice profit, but they're still working full-time jobs as well,
than anything.
Exactly. So that's the end goal, and I've got my Instagram as well, which is like my creative outlet part in it, and I like going a bit above and beyond in the rental. So I think what we're doing is quite different in the market as well. So it's not just like a basic cookie cutter refurb that we put into all of them, because Aberdeen's quite a hard market to rent in, or it can be. Like it's not like renting in London or Edinburgh or something like that. There's I think our properties rent fast, and at the best rates because we are doing something a bit different in our refurbs.
A lot of people, I think, there's one or two ways that you can go, because I'm probably very similar to you. Is I do have a style how I renovate the houses, but I don't skimp.
Yes, yeah.
Whereas a lot of people will just, it's almost like going into a hospital.
Yeah,
when
it
you
is.
look at some of these, because all they
It's
care,
horrible, isn't it?
all they care about, it's so sterile.
It's just how many bedrooms and how much is the rent.
And and they always then wonder why people don't treat it in a certain way, or they don't handle repairs and stuff like that. So I'm very, very similar in that sense to you. I mean, one thing I want to touch on, because when I look at your Instagram, it's not just painting walls anymore.
No, yeah.
I see you doing tiling. I see you doing like a whole bathroom reno as well.
Yeah.
You know, sort of, how have you taught yourself how to do these things? Because we had a conversation off camera as well. It's like, you get the comments on Instagram or TikTok where people suddenly think now that because they see you doing tiling that you're trained as a tiler and stuff like that. How did you pick up these skills? I know obviously you just pick up stuff and you have a go at it. But
you do.
How did you learn? Who did you learn off? Was there anything that you could advise somebody that's watching this and thinks, I want to renovate my own house? Where does somebody start with these things?
It was. I mean, I'm sure there's probably loads of listeners that will cringe when I say it, but I did just like learn really from social media, I think, and like YouTube, and like I touched upon earlier, like when it was COVID, so we didn't when I first started. I did a lot of stupid things and things wrong then, with it, like because there wasn't as much content even back then, like 5 years ago, as what there is now. But yeah, I just taught myself a lot of it, and it can be quite hard to know, because if you look at something, like when I'm about to tile a shower, like waterproofing it and tanking it and everything, there's so many different opinions on that. Doesn't matter how I do it, I will always get somewhat, like loads of people say, oh, you've done that wrong, you've done this wrong, so it is a bit of a minefield.
There's a lot of there's 10 ways. Is it 10 ways to skin a cat or whatever?
Yeah.
There's a lot of different. I mean, where I'd struggle, I watch tiling videos and it looks great, it's going along, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I've got it to there, but then I'd be like, oh god, that tile on the ends
a little bit. So annoying.
And people that tile all the time, they'll just instantly know that that piece got to be that size, and it comes together. Yeah. I suppose when you're doing DIY and you're trying to teach yourself, you think, oh, look at this, and then you go, oh. Yeah,
you do have to sort of make mistakes, and I think that's where I've been quite lucky, because I've done multiple projects. So when I first started, I wasn't filming all the stupid stuff, because I didn't really run the account back then, so you know what I mean.
Go way back on your account.
No one will ever see your mistakes, Emma. I like it.
I should post one actually. I should actually post my first ever tiling job. It was a kitchen backsplash. It was terrible. It was really bad. Yeah. But yeah, you do have to, if you are going to have a go at something like that, I think.
Did you fella have a go at any of these?
Yeah, he's quite good actually. Yeah. So he's all right.
Say that, hasn't she? She's on.
Is he as good as you?
He doesn't have the same attention to detail as what I do. Actually.
So diplomatic.
Whenever he rolls a wall, he'll just start in the middle, and just start going.
The roller.
And I'll be like, what are you doing? And he's like,
you turn into one of those critics on Instagram.
Yeah. Even though that's how I started it as well, before I'd seen Kev Paint Warriors videos, I didn't know how to, you know what I mean? I didn't know how to roll them all. But there is like a right and a wrong way to do it. But he doesn't like me when I criticise him too much, obviously.
One other thing I wanted to ask you is, what is your favourite skill that you've picked up? What's one thing as well? So what is your favourite skill? And what is one thing that you thought, I'm going to hate this?
Yeah.
And you've ended up absolutely loving it. Like you look forward to, I've got this job coming up. I get to do that.
I think actually painting is probably my favourite thing to do, because it's quite therapeutic, and I'm at the point now where it's there's no stress in it, and because I just know that I know the wall's being prepped and the woodwork's being prepped properly. I know that I can do a good job, and you know what I mean. It's just it's therapeutic. Tiling I do love as well, but even like some of the patterns I try and do, I always try and do something different. I can't do the same pattern over and over again, because I will not want to finish it. Like too boring. Too boring. Yeah, I can't. So I always have to do something different. So there is always still. I'm always learning. Every tiling job I do, I think, if I was doing that again, actually, I might do it like this instead, or start in a different place, And some of the patterns I'm doing, they're not straightforward. I did like a double square herringbone, the last one I did, and it was like no matter where I started it from, there was going to be a little sliver at some edge. It was unavoidable.
That'd be me. I'd be
so it's and
build the wall out.
knock the wall down. Knock the wall down.
It gets to the point you just have to go for it, and I think that's you just have to think, right, I'm just going to start and go for it. What's the worst that can happen?
True. They come off. You can take them off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
So the painting, because the thing that always, whenever I do a painting job, and I start, I think this looks really good. Like I'll finish that wall, and then I turn the light on, and it literally looks like a chimpanzee. Going like
all the other way around.
Like like the flash marks and stuff like that, and you just look and you're like, I don't remember doing that.
Everyone thinks painting's easy, don't they? But it's
well, the phrase is if you can paint, if you can piss, you can paint, isn't it?
Yeah, not true. Definitely not true. Not if you want a good finish. But I've done all sorts. I've done stupid, and I think that was a mistake I made as well.
Have you tried plastering?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, that's literally what I was about to say. Like, I think that I can do small little sections, and maybe the size of that, and it would be all right.
You watch people on stilts, and they're just
and it's really skillful.
And the room's done in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You're like.
It needs years and years of practice, but me being stupid at the start, and
we're going to see you in stilts.
One of my friends, who's a construction project manager, gave me a pair of stilts because he was like, "You should take these," because he fell off and like lost his confidence a little bit.
These are right dodge.
Don't give them to Kim.
We do have a lot of like Victorian high ceilings, so it would save so much time. But I think I would probably kill myself. So
because there's two girls actually on Instagram from America called Drywall Chicks. Have you seen them?
No, but I've seen Drywall Shorty.
Well, she's as well, but the Drywall Chicks, they are always on like really high stilts, like not just like this height. They're on like, and I'm thinking, there's no way you get me up there.
Yeah, no. They're hard to get on and off. And you don't even like the smaller size. Like those are the ones that I tried. Like you're so high up, it doesn't look like it'd be that bad, but once you're up there, you're like, if I fall, I'm dead, and especially if the building site is not, if it's not that, you need to have nothing in the room, but no, that was one of those things that, and I think a lot of like DIYers probably think, I can do anything, like give it a bash, and yes, you can. What's the worst that can happen if you plaster a wall a bit badly? It's not the end of the world.
We need to wait to see you on the stilts,
There is a video that exists of me on the stilts, but I'm not actually doing it. I'm just like holding onto my van for dear life, because we did it outside as well. I don't know why they thought that would be a good idea, but I'm just like.
So what's one trade that you haven't done that you would like to do?
I've actually never done any sort of plumbing at all, and I would never ever do any proper.
We needed Mark.
Well,
seems like the most accessible.
But sometimes I'm like, and it's probably embarrassing to admit, but at this stage I'm like, I should be able to just like take a radiator off a wall, but I will literally call my plumber. And be like, can you take this radiator off? And I'm like, why? I should know that. Like, it's like it's basic. Like, there is still basic stuff I don't know how to do.
Anything with gas, me and gas.
Yeah,
you can't touch it. You're not meant to.
No.
Yeah,
there's probably some people that go, I reckon I could have a crack at
I've
that.
isolated it. Just give it a go.
So plumbing.
Literally just basic stuff, or like
So these are two things in now for you.
If a sink's if a kitchen sink's leaking, I'm like, I should know how to just like do a little bit.
We need like change a cistern or something in a toilet. So
maybe a little bit beyond my.
By the end of the year, we're going to see a plumbing job on your Instagram and the stilts plastering. That's what we're going to see, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first.
Plaster of ceiling. Yeah.
You heard it here first. I mean, so in terms of what you've been doing, the social media, is there, because we talked earlier about working with Stabila and stuff like that, and this is another thing that people always say you bang on too much about it, but social media, and when you were working, doing the PR and all that sort of stuff and the social media stuff before, did you ever think, A, I'm going to work doing sort of trade stuff, but then B, the stuff that I'm posting is actually then going to get me working with some of these brands that I'm using every day? Is that something that I
think I was in quite a good position that when I started the Instagram, I was on the other side, so I was on brand side. It was beauty brands, but it's this, it's the same thing. So I sort of had the knowledge of
how it works,
and also I think it's evolving a lot, isn't it? Like more and more trades brands are doing a lot more with influencers now than they were in the past. So I think I knew that there probably was an opportunity to do it, and I think that's part of the reason. Actually, first and foremost, I like getting involved in the projects because I actually enjoy it. So it's
easy.
There's
to do.
ones that I'm where like there's some projects that I've just project managed and I've not, because of time and everything, I've not been able to do anything on them. It's just literally managing, and those are the ones I have like they're not memorable to me, and they're I don't feel like they're my best work. The ones that I feel like are my best are the ones where I'm like, oh, I tiled that backsplash, or I painted that wall, or I did something myself, and I just like it. It's like my little creative thing that I like to do. So yeah, but I think that it's like a 360 thing that I want to do almost. It's like I want to build my business, have the portfolio, work with brands as well. I would only ever work with brands that I think and like accept products and use them in my properties where I actually like them.
Yeah.
I think anyone who's on social media should do that. So it's not like I would never accept anything for free kind of thing, but only if it's the Louis Vuitton of tool bags.
I sold it to her. Told her this is the Louis Vuitton of tool bags. That was it then. He was like, oh, Louis Vuitton.
I'm like, yes, thank you.
Does it come in any other size?
It was a great sales pitch.
Chanel classic flat. Got you there.
Exactly.
I know a bit too much about handbags because my sister is like a fanatic. An absolute fanatic. Sorry, Laura, I've told her to do that. But
yeah.
I mean, so here's another question for you then, because I always think in my head, if you could work for one brand, who would it be? And I'll ask you something similar.
Well, Chanel, obviously.
I wonder if Chanel would make a tool. Imagine if they made a tool bag. Probably be about 50 grand though, wouldn't it?
I don't know. That's a hard question, actually. Like, if there was one brand.
Who's a product that you really like to use all the time that just makes it's really, it could be that it just
probably Worcester actually, because I've got like the big bucket, the big roller, and everything like that. And I think they've like they sent me some rollers and stuff before actually, but I don't work with them like on. But I buy a lot of their products. I actually think they're really good products.
What was that Worcester decorating?
Not Worcester Bosch that you
can. Yeah.
She's not done plumbing yet.
No.
She's going to.
She's coming.
I don't know.
I am fully going to hold you accountable to doing one plumbing Instagram reel.
Okay.
And walk on the stilts plastering.
Okay, I'll do it.
That's the thing.
Bristol easy fit taps on the kitchen sink.
Or you could stand on the stilts and then try and do your plumbing.
Yeah.
Whilst plastering.
I've got
fix the leak you just made upstairs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, one sort of last thing that I'll touch on then is, where do you see what you're doing now? Because you've sort of set yourself up quite well. You do the property sourcing, then you are doing the renovations, and you're doing the lettings. Is there, you've got potentially brand deals in there. Is there anything else that you would like to sort of do or achieve in the future? Is there any sort of...
just like scaling the business, I think, and very difficult for anyone, like you'll know as well, and but also getting to a point where I think actually the in recent months I've actually been too busy, and actually like I've had too many refurbs on my plate, and I can't put my like
undivided
my
attention.
And actually I would rather do less but do them better and keep on doing like better work, and like the type of property I like is like the tenants are really proud to live there, and people might walk in and not just think they're a rental. You know what I mean? And this doesn't mean that we're spending crazy amount in the budgets, by the way. We're just like clever. It's not like we're making sure the numbers all stack. Like it's, you know what I mean? And the deals are still really good. So yeah, but just like adding personality. So I think in a weird way, it's like I want to actually do a bit less than what I've done in the past few months, and then dedicate more time to making content as well. And that's where like the brand stuff comes in as well.
It's difficult because when you're immersed in work and then you're thinking, I've got all these things to do. And honestly, until I sort of started doing a bit of the podcast editing stuff, because Jack doesn't do it anymore, I was like, oh yeah, like people moan about doing content and then having a full-time job. It's like, it's easy. And then actually
Till
now,
you do it.
actually now with 3 kids and I'm trying to edit something and I'm like, God, I've got to get this done by Wednesday. It's like, it's hard.
It's really hard. Yeah, that's
It's
the
hard,
people you don't realize till you do it. Like it looks easy from the outside, but it's a lot of effort goes in.
And having to come up with ideas as well.
Yeah.
So that my imagination doesn't exist anymore.
Do you know the thing is? I think it's like there's always loads of ideas, isn't it? A lot of the time they're just the same ones, just reworked slightly.
But an idea becomes a to-do on my to-do list. That's the annoying bit for me. I have an idea, go, that's great, put it on the to-do list.
And then the to-do list gets...
going through this roof.
The notes app
with
with
everything. To
everything.
get to the top of it. It's just,
You never get to the end of it.
No, never.
Yeah.
You know, add 10 to the list, knock 3 off each day, you're never winning.
Yeah.
That's my life.
Right then, Gio.
My turn.
We're gonna come to you, mate.
Okay. So I'll take it from the top.
Yeah.
I went to Coventry Uni for my sins. I did car design. I wanted to be a car designer. I was a massive petrol head growing up. Still am.
Yeah.
Loved art. Was good at art. I was good at maths and science as well. But I just wanted to go down the creative streak. In fact, the first ever season of Big Brother, there was a guy in there.
I thought you were going to say you were on it.
I thought you were as well. I was thinking,
Gio.
I'll drop in another TV link in a minute. But when the applicants came on the TV and they explained what they did, this one guy was like, I think his name was Paul, he said, yeah, I'm a car designer. And I was like, car design, is that a job? Well, I guess it is. I want to do that. So then I just looked into it and then I basically just hyper-focused on getting into that. So I had to do a year foundation of art at Coventry, then to do the degree, which was 4 years.
Like hand drawing or computerised?
It was, so we did a year of CAD, like computer design. Again, that's a bit of a skill. That isn't for everyone. The same way not everyone could turn their hands to a trade. Like 3D design is almost like a different part of the brain than, say, sketching. You could find people that, if they try and draw a car, it looks like they did it with a protractor. Yet on CAD, they're phenomenal. And then me, I could paint you a mural, I could do a still life drawing, I'm creative, and I can come up with some cool ideas, but it would always be artistic more than like mechanical or like fully well designed end to end, if you like.
Yeah.
But anyway, I halfway through my degree, I realised I probably chose the wrong one. I should have done business studies. I was so into just like, I've always been an entrepreneur. I've been like, the typical selling the Mars bars on the playground kind of vibe.
So basically, you two went to uni and...
So you're like an art dropout as well?
Yeah.
So we're both,
Art dropouts. Yeah.
That's a coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought we were going to see you on the Scottish version of Seats when you started telling me you were a qualified liar. I thought, this is...
I know.
Didn't get
I
it.
mean, so many. There is a national percentage of the amount of people that don't actually go on to use their degree, and there's a whole host.
I
of
can't say
benefits
anything
in
either because I did sound engineering.
Yeah, it does sound good.
That's Jack's handiwork, it's not mine.
No, but I think the whole point of just going to uni or college and doing a degree or doing something, it just takes you as a maturing adult into another level way of thinking, looking after yourself, cooking, cleaning, paying bills, earning money, whatever it is. So uni was great for me. I don't have any regrets about that. But fundamentally, the car industry wasn't the one for me. You had to take whatever job you could, wherever it was in the world, get paid whatever they were prepared to pay. Supply demand was, a lot of people wanted to get in it. There weren't enough jobs, and it was all around the time of the Lehman Brothers crash as well. So that Ford and all the big US companies were struggling. So it was the wrong industry. So anyway, I had to retake 1 year at university because it was in them days, if you failed 3 modules out of 8, you had to retake the whole year. Right. And I failed a mechanical maths part, which is like A, very technical and quite difficult, but B, probably my least favourite part. I failed one part of a triple module, which basically pushed me out for a whole year. So I worked in Leamington Spa Phones for You. I can't do it. I try. Do you remember those?
Phones for...
I feel like I'm going to do something wrong.
Yeah. Anyway, I cut my teeth in sales there, basically. So a friend of mine was working there. He said, don't get a bar job or work in Tesco. He said, come and work here. And I flew. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I'm an extrovert anyway. I'm creative. I'm a good communicator, but I was a natural. So I really enjoyed getting into sales at that point. Obviously, I was earning loads of money for someone at that age.
Phones back then, it was good game to be in.
Yeah, and Phones for You were one of the better companies for that. But yeah, fundamentally, I did a year out. Then I went back, finished my degree, and then I knew I was to get into a sales career, basically. Yeah. So I went straight into...
Did you used to live up here then?
No, I did for 6 years in Coventry, Okay. Yeah. And I got lots of friends around Rugby, Warwick, Evesham, all those areas. So, so fundamentally, I kind of knew that I wasn't going to go into car design. I had sales, if you like, under my belt. So I started applying for sales jobs, got into an exhibition and events and conferencing publication company. And I was there for nearly 2 years. And I just, everything from like that whole square column centimetre sales right up to display advertising or buying an exhibition space at the NEC. And I really enjoyed that as well. And it was quite a diverse industry. But then from there, I went and worked for a company called Total Jobs, which is a recruitment job board, everyone knows. And that Total Jobs group was basically, I was based in London doing that. And I sort of started off just in telesales and then made my way up to team leader and managing a new team in a southeast office in Sutton, Surrey. So I worked my way up, and like I said, I really enjoyed it. I was a natural. I was, you have to phone bash in telesales, but some people are, how can I put it? Some people bash out 100 calls and have 100 minutes of dialogue, and I'll have 20 calls and have double the amount of dialogue because I can build rapport, have a conversation with people, and like we were talking about earlier about personal brand and people getting to know you. People buy from people, old adage. But ultimately, once you get into someone's space where they're willing to ask the questions, get rid of their own objections and handle them for themselves, or feel educated to the point that they then make an informed decision to buy something from you. So I meet so many people that say, oh, I can't do sales, I'm not a salesperson. It's like, you are.
Everyone's a salesperson, aren't they?
Yeah. To a degree, we are selling to our partner at home
why
we should get fish and chips.
You're theoretically selling.
Yeah.
Selling what you do to somebody because you're putting the content out so somebody can buy into it.
Yeah, but sales really is, like I said, making an informed decision and or helping people make an informed decision. So, like I said, if you sell to your missus at home, let's get fish and chips tonight instead of a Chinese, or you've technically persuaded them or influenced the decision based on.
My missus doesn't need any persuading. If I said fish and chips, then I should be like, let's get that.
It's already ordered.
Don't have to cook.
So was in the sales industry from there, and then from there, I actually ironically got poached from there by Car Design News, which was a website aimed at car design industry. I looked at it every day at uni. They needed a sales manager, so I went and worked. They said, you can do sales and you know our product. I mean, that's needle in a haystack for them because it's such a niche market. Yeah. So I went and worked in Chiswick with them for, I want to say, nearly 3 years or maybe more. And I loved that job, but it very much had a glass ceiling because, the business wasn't very big. It had, I had literally me, my boss, and then the CEO, and it was almost like struggled to get my ideas passed. I saw the world. I went to like Shanghai, Beijing. I went all around the world. I would pull
all
up
the
in
automotive shows.
All the shows. I would turn up. I would turn up in Turin, hire a car, go to Bertoni, Pininfarina, Zagatos, design studios, meet like people I like aspired to. Yeah. So I loved that job for 3 years. And then I think the cross section into kind of the construction industry was that I'd had at that point 15 years of B2B sales experience. My mum and dad had a construction company, plumbing, heating and renovation works, and they said we could really do with trying to push this business forward. Would you be interested in like joining the family business? And I kind of spent all of my life avoiding that. I think when you grow up with family businesses, you either just fall in and you're destined for it, and you go in without any friction, or you go, no, I don't want to. I don't want to get.
You try and make your own path in life, don't you?
Yeah.
Whatever the motivation was, I just didn't look at it and wasn't showing any interest in it. But then, anyway, fundamentally, yes, I joined the company, and it was a really nice opportunity for us to kind of go, right, there's a healthy business here, but how can we kind of take it to the next level? And all of the family were involved, apart from I've got 2 sisters and 1 brother, and so mum, dad, 1 sister, and my brother were involved. And typical family business stuff, you kind of, it's hard to have that kind of like hierarchy at work, and then whatever's going on at home, and keeping those relationships separate so you don't meet for Sunday dinner and talk about work and all those things. So it had its challenges, as it does, but fundamentally my role there was looking at policies, procedures, how we operated the business, and sales. So I'd go out and do business development. I'd try and win contracts with service contracts or a renovation or a loft extension, and I would kind of do the networking and the marketing piece and sales piece. And then it would be my dad go in and do the specification and the quoting process. My brother would project manage. And then, and I guess what happened with that business really is that it grew too fast, I think too quick. So it almost doubled in turnover and staff in a year. But then what we probably hadn't done is lay the right foundations soon enough to cope with that growth. Like, so we found ourselves overstretched with be it staff, cash flow, keeping on top of the jobs and quoting to win enough, and you end up getting in that hamster wheel really, where you're like, we've got to get that job quoted, we've got to get it won, because they're going to finish on that job, and then there's it's coming, but it's a 4-week gap, and we've got to put it forward, and it gets stressful. And actually, one of the that kind of personal experience and seeing that's kind of one of the pain points I hear a lot of trades businesses say. You may have heard it yourself. Oh, we grew, we had 16 engineers, 20 vans. We were doing this, we're doing really well, but we were so stressed and we were making no money, or we were making less money. They feel that less goes in their personal bank account or their pocket, and it feels good because revenue, vanity, but ultimately they're overworked and overstretched, and actually by contracting, then they go, now it's just me and my mate or me and my brother, and we make more money and we're less stressed, and really that just comes down to kind of being really prepared and
not having
setting yourself up right in the first place, so that when you scale, it actually is kind of
just
relative
works,
rather than overwhelming. I think that's the biggest challenge for any small business. So anyway, we liquidated that company because I'll fast forward straight to that. We had our growing pains, we had our issues, but fundamentally what we had done is we'd all stretched out of our potential comfort zones or core skill sets, and no one was particularly satisfied with their day in a life. They kind of got to a point where my brother preferred to be on the tools than managing people, but naturally he was the most appropriate to do, say, the management of the staff. And then my dad would be out to quote, because that's what he always did. But now we were doing more quotes than ever, and they were getting more complicated. And so everything was just getting a bit stretched. And I think we then just agreed to just say, look, let's actually liquidate this business, break it up into smaller parts and go our separate ways. And it was a very mature, boardroom-esque conversation, and we had to be honest with each other. I think that was really healthy, actually. A lot of family business, again, they just bang their head and just keep the tension is there, and it's not good for anyone. So we made a very practical decision to say, okay, well, you take these contracts and these staff and you set up your own thing. My brother did his own thing and I did my own thing, and at that point I launched a plumbing and heating company. So again, my sales and marketing background just made me feel like, I understand identify who my customer avatar is, who am I targeting, what do they want from a business like mine, and I built a brand that was basically like friendly, local, community driven, all good vibes, like displayed prices, transparency, smiley go happy, that kind of vibe, and that really helped me build a very successful business in my local area. Quite quickly. So I ran that for 7 years. I went through pretty much every pain you could imagine. So obviously I did have COVID. I had, within 6 months of starting on my own, a key member of staff left. It was like, when you got that one person, you think, as long as they're there, I should be good. And then they go, got some news for you. You're like,
as soon as they say it, like
and you're like, you're literally the anchor, and if they're listening, you know who you are. But it's more a case of like, okay, and then there was that, and then I had a van stolen, I had a lockup broken into, and everything's,
the snowball effect,
Well, just like it was almost like every year there was a big thing. So you think of how many times have you ever written your business plan or your 5-year plan, and like you go to year 3 and you go, we're still technically in year 1, or just rip that up and start again because we look nothing like that at all. So it's a constantly evolving thing. But I met every challenge there is in business, from trying to raise finance to recruit good people, how to market yourself, Google ads, Meta ads, all of the lead buying, all of that stuff in terms of just organic growth versus promotional growth. So I cut my teeth massively in all of that. And then you'll know that I structured my business basically. I got it to a point where I was running it on my own basically, which for a 4-engineer business, most people are like, wasn't just diary manager. I was managing the whole business, and it's because I had it well set up actually, and I could have scaled that. And at that point, I was having some high-level discussions with a friend of mine who set up Just Fix, and fundamentally, he was like, "I just love your skill set. I could really do with someone like you in the business." And I said, "Well, I've got my own, haven't I?" And he's like, "Yeah." And they said, maybe we should have a talk about what we could do about it. So we ended up kind of structuring a deal where I kind of packaged my business up so that it was technically sellable. And then we came to some sort of agreement with them to be acquired by them. So Boiler Pro was acquired by Just Fix, and I went in Just Fix. My day one there was really much just keeping that Boiler Pro wheel going, whilst looking for other merger opportunities. So its strategy for growth was merger acquisition, just add top line revenue, cut overhead costs, increase profitability across the total revenue. And fundamentally I went in, we acquired a couple of other companies. Then operationally they got kind of ironed out, so they all sung off the same hymn sheet. Then I could detach myself from operationally running any plumbing or heating company. And then my role was really very much like brand awareness, social media, networking, building up the brand. It was looking for other, again, more fundraising opportunities, investors or merger opportunities, and also any other strategic partnerships. So my role became partnership director in the last year, and it could be anything. You could go and find a supplier, a manufacturer, a governing body, whatever, and they say there is some alignment in what we're trying to achieve here. We're non-compete. Let's pull together, and that's a huge message that I personally have in business. Is that there's too many people that say, "Oh, you're similar to me," and we naturally are supposed to not really get on because we're competitors, and that word has got this connotation around it. Whereas actually go, why can't we be allies? And you do the you, I do me. We both actually make the same or more money, but we do it easier. There's always going to be a benefit to the power of numbers, and all of the big companies do that. Travis Perkins didn't. They bought benchmarks rather than try and set up their own thing. The merger acquisitions are happening in the business world everywhere all the time. Like Virgin and O2 have just joined forces. Vodafone and Three. So it's just happening everywhere, and that's the best way to grow a business. Yeah. But identifying that when you're either a one-man or one-woman band or anything in between that. People think that's big business stuff, and it doesn't have to be.
Ladies and gents, just a quick one to say a huge thank you to our new headline sponsor, CT1, the best sealant on the market, voted for by the British public. Not only that, it's made in Britain as well. So go and support a product and a brand that is made in the UK. But I just want to say to you, they've got a brand new product out, which is the BT1. It's a combination sealant and adhesive like the popular CT1, but it's perfect for keeping a hygienic environment. And it's designed to completely stop the growth of bacteria, microbes, and fungus. And not only that, this stuff is strong. Now, it's going to be available at Travis Perkins, Wickes, Jewson's, and pretty much everywhere else, so there's no excuse not to go and give it a go. So we're really happy to be partnering with CT1.
No, they don't. And fundamentally, I've seen a bit like I said about the scale, get big, blow up, can't handle it problem. Yeah. There's so many things basic questions. Sole trader versus limited company. What's the difference? Why would I? Taxation benefits, liability benefits, whatever it may be. Then you've got the whole taxation piece. You've got should I be VAT registered? Should I do it now? Should I do it when I've hit the threshold? What is the threshold? There's so many basics out there that most, a lot of small businesses don't know. And then, there's lots of things in terms of branding and marketing. So how many plumbing companies that's literally James Smith Plumbing because that's his name? And then where's his scalability in that brand? Where's his ability to not be on the tools and have 2 weeks away? If he's
he is the brand,
he's the brand, and that works to a point. But you need to know what that point is, and then what you might do after that point. Gift gaff voicemails and Gmail and Hotmail email accounts. Basics that just look a little bit less professional than the other bits, and they're quick, easy wins. So as I said, I've had loads of experiences myself, but I've heard a lot of tradespeople just talk about the same things as well. I'd love to get a piece of software, but it's just I can't get my head around actually onboarding onto it. Or I'd like to change something, but I don't know how to do it. I don't think I need a website. I don't use social media. All these other things, they're very much actually just telling themselves they don't need or need to understand or want these things, but they're all the things you're going to need. Yeah. And you need to educate yourself on how to actually do that. And so I set up the Graft Academy, and the way it's structured is there's currently 20 modules end to end, and it goes right back to the beginning when you are potentially a school
Starting
leaver.
out, yeah.
Yeah, and just trying to decide what trade do I want, what is a day in a life for a tradesperson like, where do I learn, what qualifications do I need minimum, what can I expect to earn, all of those things. So make an informed decision about which way to go. Right up to, as I said, growing pains, initial setup, processes, procedures, terms, conditions, the law, pricing. People just, I think with a lot of this stuff, everyone's like, what do you do? What do you do? And what do you charge? Okay, that sounds about right. I'm about the same. So there's comfort in that. But actually, you could be all undercharging. That doesn't make it better. What's your profit? They just know that they turn over money, roughly, pay the bills, buy the things they want and need, hope it's better next year, rinse and repeat. And before you know, 10 years gone, and you've either hit your head against a brick wall over and over again and slowly, ploughed through them, but you might be 10 years from now, a tenth of the way you could have been in your business if you had made that crystal clear right at the beginning and set yourself up to achieve it. So many people, as I said, think, oh, I prefer to just stay small and all that. And that a lot of that comes down to actually control. That's actually a mindset thing. I want to do it because no one does a boiler like me. Well,
a lot of people that are in the trades don't realise they actually, if they want to grow a business, need to get themselves off the tools. And they can't because they look, like you said, I love doing. And I get that. That's the whole reason why you get in. And I'm saying, you can still go and do certain jobs, and you can go and do jobs with people that you're training as well to show them, so you can see that they're getting the results. But I try and tell so many people, how do you scale a business? You need to basically make yourself redundant.
Make yourself not needed.
The true test is, if you ask anyone who's listening now, if you can't go away for 2 weeks and turn your phone off, your business is not set up as good as it could be.
I mean, it took me probably, how many years here? 10 years to get
to that.
Where I was like, okay, I'm going, because me and the sis would never have a holiday at the same time.
Yeah, you're anxious about someone having to be here.
Like the fear in the back of your mind. But then once you do it and you realise, we'd leave Jack and Nathan, everybody here to hasn't burnt down. Nobody's died.
It's hard to get to that point where you can step away, though, isn't it?
And I'll be honest, this type of business, like Unilight, I actually think it was easier to do that than a trades business. Because a trades business, you are so reliant. A lot of people that are scaling a business, they've got subcontractors. And the one thing that's very difficult is you can't control other people.
No.
I can't make you get out of bed in the morning. I don't know what's going on in your personal life, or whether you've got a drinking problem, or you've left your wife, or something's happened here, or something's happened there. You can't control other people. And that's the hard bit with trades, is it's like, unless you've got, like you're saying, those processes in place to scale a business, the rest of it comes crashing down because you're reliant on
100%.
Other people.
Well, that's my problem right now. So I've got a joiner that I employ, and he's absolutely wonderful. It was the best decision I ever made, hiring him. And I sit now and I'm like, why did I not also employ a plumber and a sparky at the same time?
Because you're going to do the plumbing yourself.
Well, yeah.
He's going to teach you how to do the plumbing.
So it's I should have done it. I should have done it. But it's knowing when is the right time, and it's hard.
There's never a right time. I think if you want to free yourself up, you have to, even if you get somebody that can do it to 80% of what you can, that still means that other 20% of the time you can still sort of semi-mop it up if you need to, but it frees you up to do other stuff that makes more money.
Absolutely.
And it took me a very long time to let go, because you end up becoming a control, because nobody can do anything as good as me. And then you realise, well, actually people can. That's why you employ them.
Yeah, exactly. So, I know you know Schweb. Do you know Schweb, the gas expert? So he's infamous for his installs being so beautiful. They're art.
Yeah.
Like the Sistine Chapel, isn't it?
Yeah, and he puts loads of bells and whistles and Iron Man.
Makes them into real sort of but he's like an artwork, isn't it? The colours that he uses on the pictures and stuff.
But the reality is, there isn't two Schwebs, and he couldn't employ someone. He could probably teach them, right, I want this here, and you got to rub the pipework down, and I want it to this standard. He could, but it's not scalable. It's not scalable from a kind of, if you go above and beyond, that's your differentiator as an individual, and that's how you will stand out in a crowded market. Yeah. But as you grow, you need to think about how you're going to continue to stand out. You cannot maintain that much of a level of attention and detail and take that long on an install and be profitable with other people working for you. So it's just identifying all those things and being able to see them. And then to your point, make yourself redundant. But even if you start a bit smaller than that in the beginning, just to say, I don't know, Friday afternoons, my phone is off and I spend half an hour on the business rather than in the business. Unfortunately, tradespeople have a hard life in the sense that they get home at, 6 o'clock, and then by the time I've had a shower, have some food, they're then having to get the computer out and do invoicing and and it's a constant firefight. And there are solutions out there. We all know of them. There's loads of apps and softwares and just ways of doing it a quick bit, a bit faster, a bit easier. Even if it's copy and pasting, even if it's utilising AI, make work smarter. So that's kind of my slogan: graft smarter. And then you just work on the business. And I think one of the biggest things actually is information, because unless you're data, unless you have something to look at, you can't make the educated decision. You can't even say now's the time to make that employment piece, recruit someone full time. You almost need to know, looking at data, that when I'm doing roughly 80% of my, if I've got 4 days work, not 5, now's the time to employ someone full time. I will find the extra 20% work, but otherwise I'm still at a break even on the subcontracting costs.
Well, if some people don't know how much they're spending within the business, they don't even know that they could go and hire somebody. Yeah. Because they think, I can't afford that. Yeah. But actually, if you were looking at your figures, you'd be like, I can more than afford that, so why haven't I? Why haven't I been done it? Yeah, but because it's all up here while you're driving or on a job and trying to work it out or think about it, but you need to really be logical and practical with it. And again, it's only as good as the information you've got. So if you don't typically have any visible information on an accountancy package, or you're not maintaining a spreadsheet, or you don't have a CRM that gives you... Is all this ready then now for people to, or is it close? Or it's very close. I'm looking at the camera saying it's very close. I've put end of August, so August 25, so it's due this month. There's a deadline. I know. I put myself under the cosh. That's going to be the core set of products, and the core academy will be all online. So it'll be video based. You can listen to just the audio, watch the video. You can not listen to the videos and just read the content. There's a comprehension test at the end, so you kind of go, well, I've read up about VAT. Let's say, let me just check my comprehension levels, and if you score amber, go back and do it again. But the good thing about it is, you can just, in between jobs while eating lunch, you could just be chipping away at this over time. And there'll be 2 ways in which you access it. You either buy like the foundation, the intermediate or advanced courses that are appropriate to your current position in business, or you pay a monthly subscription, and there's a lot of more community benefits. And we're looking at doing annual in-person events. Well, start off with the first annual one, but it may become more regular than that and more of a geographical split over next year. But there'll be loads of benefits to being like in the community. So we are Graft is kind of like the slogan for our community, and it's about a mutual understanding that we're all hustling in the same arena. We're all trying to be better at what we do. I'm over here with a problem, you're over here with a problem. Actually, now I've met you and we're talking, or we're in this same vibe. We should talk and find a way to work together. And I think the good thing about that community will be like-mindedness, in the sense that I'm entrepreneurial, I'm good with my hands, I'm entrepreneurial, I realise I've got some knowledge gaps in certain areas, I want to really sharpen up my pencil on those things, and I really want to push my business forward. So that's it in a nutshell, mate. Yeah. I think it's a good idea. It's really good, Well, the thing is as well, if you bring people together, is the more people talk about business and the things that they don't understand, the more you're going to learn anyway. So I think it's a good idea for people. Yeah. Especially stuff that, who wants to talk about VAT? But it's something that affects every business at some point. Yeah. Do you know? But sooner than you expect as well. And then you're like, shit. It's 3 months again. when that threshold. CIS. I hate CIS. I could never get my head around that. And the thing is as well, this is another thing, is even doing your accounts and making sure that everything, it's going to save you time when it gets to the end of the year. And you also then will learn what you can put through a business, what you can't put through a business. And those are the types of things that if you learn just a little bit about everything all the time, like you said, your to-do list gets longer, but you keep chipping away, eventually I wish I'd learned it so much sooner than actually
just trying to do
you were
it.
too busy.
while
You were too
That's
busy
it.
starring in the
Yeah.
Scottish suits.
Well, yeah, exactly. But no, you always just think like, oh, that's a tomorrow problem. You know what I mean? And then before you know it, the accountant's like, the deadline.
I needed that 5 weeks. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm
it's-
talking
it's-
from experience. I've been
Yeah.
exactly there, and I've been as naive as that to go. You get the kind of end of year reports or like the quarterly
Yeah.
VAT, and they go, "Here's your calculation." You go, transfer the money. I don't know what that means. It's just like they've done it, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but that the accountants actually take zero liability for those numbers being correct.
But the accountants also, some of them are really good, some of them not so good.
Yeah.
Don't actually say to you, well, you could put that through and then you can claim this back, or you can do that there.
Yeah.
And,
Even
actually you've reduced your tax bill at the end of the year. And you're like, and you've been doing something for 5 years.
And you think, well,
And
that's cost me.
And then you think, well, actually, I could have saved £3,000-4,000 over those 5 years. Like, thanks a
Because
lot
how
for
do you
telling
know
me.
what accountant to choose? I suppose that's the thing of having a network, being involved in a network. It's going to become clear.
Other people
that,
then
you know,
communicate with each other,
Yeah.
and you find bits of valuable. Even if you can take one little nugget from somewhere, it can completely revolutionise your business.
Definitely, yeah.
So
But yeah, there's so many small nuances around, as you said, the taxation and money piece, but just down to like even pricing and profitability. Like I was thinking on my way up here of a good example, but let's take a plumber who charges £100 an hour. Assume he does 100k in a year, and he roughly is able to put 50 grand of that in his pocket. If he was just to put £5 on every hour, or every unit of sales, because it could be on the hourly rate, or he could actually charge £3 for that squirt of silicone he just used that he just doesn't normally charge for. If he had £5 an hour to his units, and he's added 5 grand to his bottom line, which is 10% more than the 50k, right? So he's added 5% to his prices, or 5% to his cost of his sales, and he's added 10% to his bottom line, and that paid for the summer holiday.
Yeah.
You know, that could be a really significant amount of money that, from just really thinking at the top line, what can I add to the sales I'm making? Is it, like I said, charge for sundries, upselling, other policies like service plans or insurances, or a half-year maintenance check, or forward book the next year's return visit for something.
with the discounted price, and you get it paid in advance.
Yeah, whatever it is to just kind of really kind of get a little bit more from
Yeah.
every opportunity you've got, rather than say just thinking, well, I need to go and pay for advertising to get a new customer to generate another one job.
Or
of
thinking
revenue.
you've got to do more jobs to make more money.
Yeah, that, because again, if you're a one-man band or one-woman band, you get to a point where there's only so many hours, right? So there's your limit, there's your glass ceiling. And if you start off too low, a lot of people cut their teeth again in day one going, well, I did it for my neighbour, my mum's friend, £60 an hour, cash in hand. You're making a rod for your own back. It starts you off, but you can't carry on like that. And then you go, well, I need to put my price up to market rate. I'm going to alienate all my good customers and that builder that gives me a load of work. It's like, yeah, but he's happy with the arrangement because your pricing is probably below par. If you go to normal pricing, you'll probably find someone else will just pay it, and it'll be fine. And you almost lose some of that dead wood. You almost have like the bane of your life is like the person that you have the best relationship with pays you the least and gives you the most hassle, right?
Yeah.
Ironic.
Yeah.
No, I mean, so round about this time, what we tend to do as well is we get you to drop some knowledge or some advice to people.
Knowledge and advice.
Knowledge and advice. Well, or you could shamelessly plug yourself and say, well, these are all my Instagram handles or whatever, but we will put them in the thing. But normally we try and get you to give like, I don't know, say you went and did the law and stuff like that, and then you've changed, and there might be somebody listening or watching to this who thinks, oh, I'm really stuck here. I'm reading books. I don't quite enjoy it. What would you suggest to somebody?
It's easier said than done, isn't it? But I think you just have to back yourself, and it's probably again, like, for people listening that might be thinking, should I just get a job, just be employed, or go self-employed, try it myself? Like, I think you just have to back yourself and try it, and just. I think when I did it, I was like, what is the worst thing that could happen? Like, I'll try and make this my full-time job. If it didn't work out, I've got a backup. I can go and do this job I was doing before, But it's a hard thing to do, definitely. It's just having that confidence. And I think the thing is, you don't actually build confidence without doing it. Everyone waits, don't they, for
I think what you're doing,
Yeah.
if somebody is just starting out and they've got a resource that they can go, actually, I can sort of see a bit of the stuff that I need to do early, and I've got used to doing it early, rather than 3 years in and then you're like, oh God, I've got to do this for the accountant, and you're panicking and you're scrambling around. Going, he's asked me for 69 receipts, and you know. So I feel like actually what you're saying there is you've got to back yourself, but then you need to back yourself and have the back.
It would definitely be easier, to have, But also, I think what you're saying is you're fast tracking the growth, really, aren't you? Because it's things that it might take someone 10 years to learn, but they've got it all, you know what I mean, all the resources and the knowledge and everything.
Because when you go to college as a trade, they don't actually teach you any finance or like business acumen. It's like you're just supposed to, there's your tools, off you go. You're just supposed to figure it out for yourself.
Yeah, so most people would be like, just here's my personal bank details, pay me in my bank, and then they've got to separate, their income and like, it's just so many. But so imagine if all of these like small things you just don't do quite right or properly from the thought, that's making everything 10 times longer to actually find it. Yeah. So you're adding more stress on your time admin and knowledge requirements because you didn't necessarily do some really basic foundational things, and then they allow scalability and I think I was going to say something about like subcontractors and getting that right, because you mentioned like law and everything else. I think that's probably one of the biggest pain points that I seem to hear, is that kind of that whole relationship around subcontracting. So there's kind of a negative connotation on the consumer side. I don't know why they think that. Peaks Express didn't grow their tomatoes; they subcontracted it to a tomato farm
that does grow tomatoes.
Like it's totally normal. And then from the kind of relationship between trades and how that's managed and what's appropriate for a kind of the earning or margin or markup part, how that's done, how that's delivered to the client, who the client pays. There's such a like ball of mess actually, and there's no real standard. I'm not implying that there needs to be one or should be one, but if you at least understand the different ways in which it could be structured, that's quite useful. A bit of advice I would give, and I learned the hard way myself, was to kind of not, you do back yourself, but you need to do the knowledge, as we just said, but also not be, there's a fine line between being excited and interested in future opportunities and possibilities and new marketplaces. So in the heating, obviously, there's heat pumps and solar and EV, and there's all these newer markets that are going to just keep growing. They're not going anywhere else. And some people are like, I'm too small, don't want to look at it, or it's not for me. And then some people are like, I'm getting on this early because I'll capitalise on it. And there's always a fine line between basically trying to do too many things all at the same time, the shiny sparkling thing that seems to be more interesting. It's about getting a really good, strong set of foundations, getting a good rhythm, and then growing from that, and just looking for what I call compound interest on every element in your business.
So what advice would you give, or is there anything that you'd, looking back on your own careers, suggest to somebody? Is there any like valuable advice or anything like that? Is there?
Who am I talking to? Anyone?
Well, just anybody listening and watching to this, because you might get apprentices, you get people that are just starting out. You might get somebody that's 40 that goes, well, actually, like I'm a solicitor and I can't stand what I do, and I want to go and watch your videos, or I've listened to you before on social media, and I'm thinking, is this right for me? Like, it could be anything like that.
My personal passionate view on that is just AI and tech. So I know AI is a buzzword, and there's a lot of people that still don't. They know of it. They know ChatGPT.
It's a good job Mark's not here, because Mark's like, I don't want Cyberdyne 101 running my life for me. And I was like, I'll be honest with you, Mark.
Sorry, Mark.
It's just like, I'm not saying you fully rely on it, but it's just, you can streamline your whole day.
Yeah, you streamline your whole day, your whole life, every decision, every bit of output you do.
Like, I don't even use Google anymore. Everything's just Grok or ChatGPT or something like that. It's just.
But that's probably an extreme level. And if you're a plumber who's been trading 6 months, how does that relate to you? Yeah, I could give you some suggestions, but what I mean is technology. Too many people are still using. I mean, I think I spoke to someone the other day about coming to quote for my fence, and he said, I'll check my diary. I left it at home, and I'll let you know tonight. And I'm like, you use a paper diary? Come on.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to leave that on the job. It'll get eaten by a dog. It will, Google Calendar on your phone, basic minimum stuff. There is some basic minimum tech-free stuff that isn't that hard to get your head around. Just go out and learn, watch YouTube videos, watch social media.
That's where, like, younger people just coming into it, though, can have the edge on someone who's a lot older and just is never going to even try. You know, and like, and the same with social media and websites and stuff like that. There's so many like really skilled tradespeople out there. Don't touch it.
Social media, like, we understand how big it is, but there's still some people that, like, at the moment are sleeping on it.
Yeah.
And I just feel like you can reach 10 million people off one reel.
Yeah.
That to me is unreal. Like, it's just
for
blows
free as well.
blows my mind.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to stop exhibitions for the business at one point, because it's like I could just get influencers to post and I'm smashing more views than anybody that could turn up at an exhibition.
Yeah, and there's a whole marketing matrix consideration there, isn't there? You've got brand awareness. People, once they heard of you and seen it, then they're great.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of things. So yeah, for me, it's all about technology, software, apps, AI. Even if you're in the trades industry, there is appropriate sources there for you to make your life easier.
You can get apps that integrate with your diary.
Yeah.
And you've got AI where it can plan your week, it can plan how far your journeys are, how much your materials you're going to use for a particular job, helps you with your quoting.
Yeah.
It's just unreal.
Yeah, it's unreal. And so, like you said, the younger generations will capitalise on that. The slightly more established businesses or, older generations that feel that technology is, they've missed the boat.
Mark, the dinosaur. He's like,
hopefully it didn't sound like we were just talking about him.
He's the Antichrist with AI. Like, he's just like...
Is his diary here?
He just... What's Mark like today? Like, it's terrible for it. He's just like, there's no way I'm using it. I don't get that mindset, you see.
It's unavoidable now, though, isn't it, as well?
So, but no, thank you very much for both coming on. I appreciate you coming from, up in the world, and then you from driving all the way from Surrey as well. So thank you very much.